Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and thank you for joining our English news edition on Canal Algérie. To the headlines. The President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, receives the ambassador to the Kingdom of Norway, Knut Langeland, that paid a farewell visit to the President at the end of his mission in Algeria. In industry, we talk about an important industrial site, the spare parts maintenance and manufacturing unit in Msila, and the production procedure that requires high precision and know-how. In the sector of mines, Garaj Bilat in the province of Tindouf witnessed an accelerated rate of raw iron extraction. The national under-17 team qualifies to the semi-finals after a victory over the Tunisian side. Good evening, those were the headlines. First in our news, the President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, received the ambassador of the Kingdom of Norway, Knut Langeland, who paid the President a farewell visit after the end of his duties in Algeria. The audience took place at the headquarters of the Presidency of the Republic in the presence of Principal Private Secretary Abdelaziz Khalaf. Let's listen to the ambassador of the Kingdom of Norway, Knut Langeland.
Aujourd'hui, j'ai eu l'honneur d'avoir été reçu par le président de la République algérienne démocratique et populaire, son Excellence Abdelmajid.
Today I had the honor of being received by the President of the Democratic and Popular Republic of Algeria, His Excellency Abdelmajid Tebboune. My term as Norway's ambassador to Algeria is coming to an end. We have passed an exciting and wonderful time here in Algiers. Obviously, our diplomatic activities have been impacted and almost frozen by the pandemic. Nevertheless, it was a privilege to strengthen the relations between Algeria and Norway. During recent years, the commercial cooperation between the two countries has been strengthened. It's my hope that our commercial and cultural exchanges continue to progress. Geographically, Algeria and Norway are in two different continents. We belong to two different political groups. However, there are several points in common that unite us. We support the principles of international law and above all the UN. We encourage to resolve conflicts through dialogue and negotiation between the concerned parties within the framework of the United Nations and other mechanisms fighting against extremism and terrorism at the same time. We recognize that we must also cut the roots of these scourges, such as poverty and unemployment. We recognize that peace and sustainable development are strongly linked. We are committed to respect human rights, including the equality between men and women. Our two countries are working to achieve the 17 Sustainable Development Goals who have been identified by the UN. I would like to express my gratitude to the Algerian authorities for their warm welcome and the very good cooperation. Algeria is a very beautiful country with a very friendly and welcoming population. I wish the best for Algeria.
According to the outcomes of the Council of Ministers held Sunday, 28th of August 2022, concerning the new academic year, where the date for the beginning of the new academic year was decided for the 21st of September 2022, and in accordance with the instructions and guidelines of the President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, with the consultation of the social partners and the organizational meetings with the national organizations of pupils, parents, and the unions accredited by the sector, and with the outcomes of the meeting held Thursday on the matter chaired by the Prime Minister with the presence of the Minister of National Education and Health Minister, the Ministry of National Education announced the return to the regular school system in all educational phases with the readiness to resort to proper measures when needed. The Ministry of National Education further saluted all the members of the educational sector. In accordance with the instructions of the President of the Republic, the Education Minister Abdel Hakim Belabed held on Thursday a consultation meeting with the approved unions of the sector to discuss the system of education to be adopted during the academic year 2022-2023. Within the framework of the partial movement conducted by the President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, in the corps of the heads of judicial councils and public prosecutors of the judicial councils. Thursday, the Minister of Justice and Keeper of the Seals, Abdelrashid Tabbi, supervised the inauguration ceremony of Kamal Ghazali as President of the Algiers Judicial Council and Moussa Athman as a public prosecutor to the same council. On the sidelines of the inauguration ceremony, the Minister of Justice revealed the preparation of legal texts and the inclusion of amendments and other texts such as law on the traffic accidents, which will be followed by other measures taken by the government soon. The minister affirmed as well that the annual movement in the judiciary is with the objective of reinforcing the status of the judiciary authority and promote its role in society within the framework of the approach of the President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, that aims to build a new Algeria founded on the judicial authority which enshrines the Constitution and the laws of the Republic. Within the framework of the 11th session of the Conference Presiding Officers of African Parliaments, organized at the headquarters of the African Parliament in South Africa, began Thursday around the theme of strengthening and resilience in nutrition and food security in the African continent. In a speech addressed to the participants, Salah Goujil, President of the Council of the Nation, read on his behalf by the Vice President of the Council of the Nation, recalled the importance of sustainable and balanced development to solve the problems facing the African continent, adding that the democratic and development dynamic that is currently taking place in Algeria under the direct leadership of the President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, will inevitably pave the way to a real and deep democracy. He reiterated the fact that Africa cannot claim a promising future without irreversibly uprooting the detestable colonial phenomenon, accelerating the pace of decolonization of the continent by allowing the Sahrawi people to self-determination and putting an end to the violations by the occupying Makhzen in the colonized Western Sahara. Algeria was elected Wednesday to the Executive Committee of the Association of the Secretaries General of the African Parliament. This was during the proceedings of the association held in South Africa. In order to enhance the energy security in our country, Sonatrach is betting on raising its production rate of natural gas and increasing Algeria's share of exports. The exploration process is taking place in Hassi Latou in Sba municipality in Adrar province as part of the complex's activities in the exploration of hydrocarbons in order to supply the Adrar refinery. Details with Rania Al-Bahri.
After 90 days of continuous efforts by this team specialized in drilling for hydrocarbons and by relying on advanced technological devices, a field containing a significant amount of crude oil was detected. We have reached encouraging results in this region that qualify us to have a large number of wells, and this will further consolidate oil production in Hassi Latou region. Hassi Latou well is considered as last oil discovery 28 years after the discovery of Sba field in 1994. The size of this well is estimated at 150 million barrels as a preliminary study. Of course, if the exploitation of this well is in the shortest term, this means that we will not invest huge funds in order to exploit it. The positive results achieved by Sonatrach in 2022 came at an excellent time. The drilling sites were carefully selected. Expanding the area of exploration and launching the exploitation process as soon as possible is a challenge that these engineers seek to win.
In the field of industry in Sila province, where a second order of blades for both gas and steam turbines was exported to General Electric Company in the Netherlands. These places are made by the Algerian Company of Electrical and Gas Industries. Sabrina Taferginit has the details.
This maintenance unit and fabrication as well of spare parts and in partnership with General Electric makes the blades for both gas and steam turbines through a process that demands high professionalism.
أولا القطعة تجينا قطعة خام من عند شريك جنرال إلكتريك.
First, we receive from our partner, General Electric, the raw product. Then we conduct studies and design plans in order to start the fabrication process of the pieces. These will go through final testing to ensure that the product matches the required standards. A successful partnership that has been achieved thanks to the qualified staff.
هذا الإنجاز يعتبر ويمثل.
This project shows the trust that our American partner, General Electric, has to the Algerian competencies and engineers. A second order of blades for both gas and steam turbines is exported to General Electric company located in the
هذا طبعاً
Netherlands.
يدخل في إطار سياسة دعم.
This operation comes under the framework of the group policy of contribution in the national industrial integration, as well as the imports reduction.
وتنويع مصادر العملة الصعبة للخزينة العمومية.
Misila's unity aims to expand its list of exporting countries, such as African, European, and American ones.
In the sector of mines, the Garaj Bilat project witnessed an accelerated rate of raw iron extraction process using explosive, and thanks to the skilled workers and the competence of Firal company. Sabrin Tafrganit has the details.
These are some exclusive released images inside Garaj Bilat mine, showing as well the extraction process of raw iron, its transformation and the testing process as well. These are accomplished thanks to the qualified staff. One of the most important projects in Algeria, which plays a big role in the launch of several other ones.
هذا المشروع الضخم الذي تتعدى أبعاده وامتداداته.
This project is crucial for the kickoff of other projects as highly important, such as the realization of the railway line between Tindouf and Bashar provinces, and the one concerning the unit destined for the treatment and transformation of raw iron. All of these will create a significant economic dynamic in the southwest region of the country.
يخلق حركية اقتصادية بالولاية وبمنطقة الجنوب الغربي ككل.
The process of raw iron extraction is accomplished according to some specific standards. This place has a special characteristic, which is the presence of iron ore in the geological layers near to the surface. Many companies, notably Feral, are taking part in this project to ensure its proper operation.
We call this operation the trench. It's a mine entering in order to access the tunnel phase. This operation is accomplished thanks to the explosives in collaboration with the National Company of Explosives, ONEX. Until this day, there has been 4 blastings with the help of explosives.
حتى الآن 4 تفجيرات.
This project will secure the needs of raw materials in the metallurgical and steel complexes of Al Hajjar and Toshali, and not only will provide job opportunities for the locals, it will also boost the economy.
To the port of Algiers, where the actual launch of the digital platform for the port community after its modernization was carried out, and this at the level of the new maritime terminal for passengers. It will allow for the improvement of the quality of services and the exchange of data between different operators in a secure manner. The platform, which was launched by the Minister of Transport, Abdullah Munji, will have a great impact on the regulation of commercial mobility at the port level, especially with regard to the deadlines for the exploitation of containers and the waiting time for ships that have long cost to the state treasury considerable money. An intersectoral working group involving the sectors of industry, agriculture, and water resources has been set up with an aim of strengthening agricultural production. The establishment of this working group was overseen by the Ministers of Industry, Agriculture, and Rural Development and Water Resources. Mohammed Abdel Hafid Hanni, Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, affirmed that as part of the expansion of cereal storage capacities, a program will be set up for the realization of small small and medium silos at collection points and farms, and another program for the extension of irrigated areas by 2030 with the possibility of reaching 2.5 million hectares intended mainly for strategic harvests. For his part, Karim Hasni, Minister of Water Resources and Water Security, stressed the importance of development of agricultural irrigation as an important element in the organization and stability of agricultural production. This installation is an application of the guidelines of the President of the Republic on the expansion of the national storage capacities of cereals, as well as on the necessary increase in the yield per hectare of wheat and barley, with the objective of reaching an average production of 30 to 35 quintals per hectare. The Sahrawi's Lawyers Union strongly condemned the communiqué issued by the section of the Arab Organization of Young Lawyers in Morocco concerning the reception from the Tunisian president to his Sahrawi counterpart Brahim Ghali within the framework of his participation in the proceedings of the 8th Tokyo International Conference on African Development. The Union of Sahrawi Lawyers castigated the false allegations and other attacks by Al-Makhzan contrary to the principles of the profession, while on the other hand welcoming the communiqué in which the Arab Organization of Young Lawyers distanced itself from the communiqué of its section in Morocco. The latter announced earlier that the communiqué published by its section in Morocco does not represent the opinion of the organization, which has no connection to its publication. Unemployment, precariousness, rising prices of fuel and basic necessaries. The Makhzan policy pushes thousands of people to take the streets of Morocco every day. The Moroccan people demand radical change. Rania Al-Bahri tells us more.
In Morocco, the return to social life is marked this year by soaring prices and considerable decline in purchasing power. Several strikes are observed in various sectors. Moroccan workers denounce a deterioration in purchasing power. The country is experiencing a new rise in fuel prices, faced with the Makhzan, who remains powerless in the face of an unprecedented energy crisis and is struggling to find real solution to the high prices of basic necessities. According to local press, the crisis that the country is going through is mainly due to the mismanagement of the government, which has failed to meet the energy needs, in particular gas, of many regions of the country. Concerning the increase of fuel prices, it's 1 dirham per liter. The decision came into force last night. The government uses the pretext of fluctuations in the international market to justify this new increase, which has been denied by several concerned parties. Many voices are calling on the government to intervene, stressing that this surge in fuel prices has a direct impact on the already high prices of basic products. However, the Moroccan government continues to turn a blind eye to all the demand of its people.
In Palestine, around 1,000 Palestinian detainees began Thursday an indefinite hunger strike as a first step of a series of protesting actions against the Zionist practices. The detainees demand the end of cell incursions and the beatings of detainees, the release of prisoners in solitary confinement, and visits rights. Within the framework of the participation of the National People's Army in the Strategic Command and Staff Drills east from the 1st to the 7th of September 2022, the course of the implementation of this exercise began Wednesday, where the Deputy Minister of Defense of the Russian Federation, Yunus Ivkorov, supervised the official opening ceremony with the participation of 13 countries. The participation of the National People's Army, represented by a combat unit of the ground forces, in this exercise is an opportunity to exchange with foreign armies, along with improving skills and performing common tasks. The under-17 national team are in the semi-finals following a 3-1 victory over Tunisia during penalties after a 1-1 score at the end of the game. Congratulations to our Desert Warriors and good luck for the semi-final in the Arab Cup under-17 competition. And with that, we wrap up our news bulletin. Thank you for watching. Have a great night.